Did you know that the secret of Genghis Khan's final resting place was so important that it cost thousands of lives? This is not just a legend, but a chilling testament to the lengths people went to in order to protect a secret that has endured for centuries. The Mongolian steppe, with its endless horizons and haunting beauty, still holds the echoes of this ancient mystery. When Genghis Khan died in 1227, his loyal followers carried his body back to Mongolia. The funeral procession was a somber and secretive journey, crossing vast plains and treacherous terrain. Every detail was meticulously planned to ensure that no one outside the inner circle would ever know the true location of his burial site. According to legend, everyone who crossed the path of the funeral procession, no matter who they were, was killed on the spot. This ruthless act was meant to erase any trace of the route, ensuring that the secret would remain buried with those who carried it. Once the tomb was finally constructed, the soldiers who had guarded the burial site were executed to prevent them from revealing its location. In a grim twist, yet another group was then tasked with eliminating those executioners, creating a chain of silence that was nearly impossible to break. This brutal and methodical process ensured that the location of Genghis Khan's tomb would die with those who knew it. The secret was so fiercely protected that it became a legend in its own right, whispered across generations. To this day, despite centuries of searching, nobody knows where Genghis Khan is buried. The vast Mongolian wilderness remains untouched, hiding its most precious secret beneath layers of history and myth. The mystery has fueled countless theories and expeditions. From local shamans to international archaeologists, many have tried to unravel the truth, but the search has become more than just a hunt for a tomb. It's a quest for a lost world, a journey into the heart of Mongolia's past. Was the tomb filled with unimaginable treasures, or was it protected by a deadly curse? Some believe it holds the riches of an empire, while others think it's guarded by spiritual forces. These questions keep the search alive, drawing adventurers and dreamers from around the globe. The story of the silent funeral procession is just the beginning. Each retelling adds new details, new mysteries, and new dangers, making the legend even more compelling. Over the centuries, more layers have been added to the legend, making it even more difficult to separate fact from fiction. The truth about Genghis Khan's final resting place remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, and perhaps that's exactly how he wanted it. Who was this man whose tomb is so fiercely protected? What kind of legacy could inspire such devotion, centuries after his death? The answer lies not just in his conquests, but in the story of a life shaped by hardship, ambition, and vision. Genghis Khan, born as Temujin on the vast Mongolian steppe, was more than a conqueror. He was a nation-builder and a visionary whose influence echoes through history. His early years were marked by tragedy and struggle. After his father was poisoned by rivals, Temujin and his family were cast out, left to survive alone in the unforgiving wilderness. He endured hunger, betrayal, and even enslavement, experiences that would have broken most. Yet these hardships forged him into a leader of unparalleled strength and resilience. Every challenge became a lesson, every setback a reason to fight harder. Through brilliant strategy, charisma, and sheer determination, he united the fiercely independent Mongol tribes, transforming them from warring clans into a single unstoppable force. In 1206, Temujin was proclaimed Genghis Khan, universal ruler. This moment marked the birth of an empire, and the beginning of campaigns that would reshape the world map forever. His armies swept across Asia and into Europe, creating the largest contiguous land empire in history. The Mongol horsemen became legendary, feared and respected by all who encountered them. But Genghis Khan was more than a conqueror. He established a written language for his people, created a groundbreaking legal code, and promoted trade along the Silk Road, connecting distant civilizations. He practiced religious tolerance, allowing freedom of worship for all under his rule. This policy brought stability and prosperity to his vast empire, uniting people of many backgrounds. This dual identity, the feared warrior and the visionary leader, makes Genghis Khan endlessly fascinating. He was both destroyer and creator, feared and revered. His burial site became the spiritual heart of the Mongol people, a place shrouded in mystery and legend, symbolizing the enduring power of his legacy. Protecting it was paramount, reflecting not only his immense power, but also the deep reverence and awe he inspired, a legacy that continues to captivate the world today. Why all the secrecy? What could drive the most powerful conqueror in history to shroud his final resting place in such deep mystery? The answer lies in the unique blend of fear, reverence and tradition that surrounded Genghis Khan, even in death. Genghis Khan commanded his burial place be kept secret. This was not a simple request, but a strict order passed down to his most trusted followers. He knew that his enemies and even some of his allies might seek out his grave for their own purposes, whether to desecrate it, claim it, or use it as a symbol. He wanted to be buried near Burkhan Khaldun, a sacred mountain that had protected him in his youth, but he insisted there be no fanfare, no grand tomb, and not even a single marker to reveal his presence. The landscape itself would be his only witness. This was a final act of humility for a man who conquered the world. Despite his unmatched power, Genghis Khan chose anonymity in death, blending his legacy with the land he loved. It was a gesture that spoke volumes about his beliefs and the values of his people. A marked tomb would have been a target for enemies, a place for rivals to vent their anger or seek revenge. It could have become a rallying point for those who wished to challenge his legacy or a site of endless conflict. By hiding it, his successors ensured his safety for eternity. The secret of his burial was guarded fiercely, passed down through generations, and protected by those who remained loyal to his memory. Spiritually, the Mongols believed a person's soul remained at their burial site. To disturb it would be to invite misfortune not just for the individual but for the entire nation. The secrecy was as much about spiritual protection as it was about physical safety. For Genghis Khan, his spirit was the guardian of the Mongol nation. Even in death, he was believed to watch over his people, his presence woven into the very fabric of the land. To carry out this command, the Mongols employed ingenious methods. They went to extraordinary lengths, using every resource and trick at their disposal to erase any sign of the burial. 1,000 horsemen trampled the site to obliterate any trace. The thunder of hooves churned the earth, making it impossible to distinguish the grave from the surrounding steppe. A river was diverted to flow over the gravesite, hiding it beneath water. This act not only concealed the location but also made it nearly impossible for anyone to approach or investigate. They planted a forest over the area, a living monument blending into the landscape. Over time, the trees grew tall and thick, erasing all evidence of human activity and turning the site into an untouched wilderness. This ensured the location would remain a secret, lost to history and protected by nature itself. To this day, the final resting place of Genghis Khan remains one of the world's greatest mysteries, a testament to the enduring power of his final command. As centuries passed, legends filled the void. One enduring legend speaks of Ikh Korig, a forbidden zone in the Khenti Mountains. Only the Darkhad, a select group of families, were allowed to enter as guardians. They protected the ancestral lands, fueling belief that this valley was the great Khan's resting place. The tomb was said to be filled with unimaginable riches and protected by a curse. Legends warn that opening the tomb would unleash a terrible curse. For many, the tomb is meant to remain hidden, its secrets protected by the land and legends. In the 20th century, the hunt for the tomb began in earnest. Early attempts by Soviet explorers were shrouded in secrecy. The real game-changer came in the 1990s after the Soviet Union's fall. Mongolia opened its doors, sparking new international interest. The Japanese Mongolian Gurvangol project focused on rivers central to Khan's life. They used historical texts and modern technology, uncovering potential sites. The Mongolian landscape is immense and unforgiving, with extreme weather and remote locations. Local resistance and government wariness of foreign interference posed challenges. Despite setbacks, the desire to solve the mystery never faded. Each expedition added a new piece to the puzzle, laying the foundation for future searches. The 21st century brought new tools to the search. Techniques like ground-penetrating radar and satellite imagery became crucial. Dr. Albert Yumin Lin's Valley of the Khans project took a groundbreaking approach. Thousands of online volunteers scanned satellite images for potential sites. This virtual expedition yielded incredible results, flagging millions of sites. Lin's team investigated promising locations using non-invasive tools. They discovered ancient artifacts and confirmed unknown archaeological sites. While they didn't find the tomb, they created a detailed archaeological map. This high-tech approach respects local beliefs while pursuing historical knowledge. The combination of satellite imagery, crowdsourcing, and geophysics is our best bet. It may one day pinpoint the final resting place of the great Khan. The search for Genghis Khan's tomb is a cultural and spiritual issue. For many Mongolians, he is a revered ancestor whose spirit watches over them. The idea of disturbing his resting place is deeply unsettling. They believe the tomb was hidden for a reason and should remain so. The belief in the tomb's protective power ties to national identity. The curse serves as a cultural warning against meddling with sacred forces. The government balances potential discovery with respect for beliefs. Foreign expeditions face bureaucratic hurdles and public opposition. Recent openness to non-invasive research shows sensitivity remains. Any search must be conducted with respect and collaboration. The story reminds us that some mysteries are protected by more than just earth and stone. Why find this tomb? It would be one of the greatest archaeological discoveries. The real prize is the wealth of historical knowledge it could unlock. Imagine finding artifacts that tell us more about Genghis Khan the man. Archaeologists could learn about Mongol elite burial rituals. The tomb's construction would offer insights into their capabilities. It could revolutionize our understanding of the Mongol Empire. Geneticists might analyze Khan's DNA, tracing his genetic legacy. Finding the tomb would be monumental for Mongolia, bringing global attention. It would solidify Khan's place in history and highlight Mongolia's heritage. The discovery would launch a new chapter of research and understanding. The tomb of Genghis Khan remains a grand historical enigma. Despite centuries of searching, it is still a secret. The forbidden zone in the Khenti Mountains is the most likely candidate. The quest is far from over, with technology improving each year. Researchers like Dr. Lin continue the search with non-invasive methods. The search is about more than finding a body or treasure. It's about exploring, understanding our past, and solving great puzzles. The answer is out there, waiting for the right combination of technology and luck. The adventure continues and the final chapter has yet to be written. Will we be the generation that solves this mystery? Only time will tell. Thanks for joining this journey into the unknown. Subscribe for more expeditions.